This demo will show a new vSphere 5 feature called Storage DRS. Storage DRS helps simplify storage management by providing placement recommendations during the provisioning of virtual machines and virtual disks. Storage DRS also monitors the current load of data stores and provides recommendations when the thresholds are exceeded. These recommendations are based on space utilization and I/O load. We will create a new data store cluster first. A data store cluster is a collection of multiple data stores. It is not just a name, it is also a new storage object that can be using many tasks. This data store cluster will be set to fully automated, allowing for Storage DRS to automatically migrate virtual machines or virtual disks whenever the specified thresholds are exceeded. These thresholds are by default set to 80% utilized space and 15 milliseconds I/O latency. If more than 80% disk space on a volume is consumed, or if the latency threshold is exceeded, Storage DRS will generate recommendations to migrate virtual machines or disks to solve the bottleneck and prevent issues. Under Advanced Options, we can specify the interval at which Storage DRS is invoked, and also the minimum difference required between the source and the destination before recommendations are generated. We will leave this set to the default values. Next, we will select the data stores that will be part of this data store cluster. The System Capability column reveals the characteristics of the data stores. Based on this information, we can easily select the correct data stores to form a data store cluster. We will select both RAID 10 data stores. The review screen shows all the selections we made. The data store cluster has been created, and as you can see, we have a new object called Gold DC. Note that it has a different icon. At the top, we see another data store cluster that has an alert. The Storage DRS tab shows that there are 2 Storage DRS recommendations that have been made. For this specific cluster, we had set the utilized space threshold to 75%, and the migration automation level was set to manual. To resolve this imbalance, we can simply click Apply Recommendations, and Storage DRS will migrate the 2 virtual machines to a different data store. If we configure this data store to fully automated instead of manual, then the recommendations would have been applied without user involvement. Note that Storage DRS leverages Storage vMotion, and as such benefits from mirror mode, but also from some of the offload capabilities offered through the vSphere storage APIs for array integration will be leveraged. Now that we have solved the imbalance, we will create a new virtual machine and provision it to the data store cluster we have just created. The new virtual machine is a MS SQL virtual machine, and we want to ensure it is provisioned on RAID 10. We will select the Gold VM storage profile from the pull-down list. This allows us to easily select the data store cluster which has the characteristics defined in the VM storage profile. Not only does this speed up the provisioning process, it also helps eliminate human errors. Before we will create this virtual machine, we want to know which recommendation Storage DRS made with regards to the placement of the virtual disk. So we will select Show All Storage Recommendations. Storage DRS makes several recommendations, and in this screen we could override the recommendation. The virtual machine is created and placed on the data store recommended by Storage DRS. The VM storage profile also shows this virtual machine is compliant with the associated profile. This concludes our demo. Using Storage DRS, multiple data stores can be aggregated into a single object called a data store cluster. Storage DRS takes care of balancing data stores within a data store cluster based on a space utilization and load, and makes placement recommendations during the provisioning process, enabling fast and smart provisioning of virtual machines or virtual disks. Storage DRS will not only simplify management and provisioning, but also significantly decrease the operational effort associated with these tasks.